Happy Friday, everyone. Thanks a lot for joining us. We're here and we're set and we're ready to rock and roll. We do have a fourth man with us, but he wasn't in his chair, so it didn't feel right to hang him out to dry, but he's back with us. There he is. And we're here live on the channel tonight for a wee bit of Go Fuck Friday night. This will be the fourth time in a row that we've made it bang on time as well, which has been sweet to see. Joining me tonight, I've got Charlie Dunbar, I've got McBride Ace, and I've got the returning SR Monkey. Good to see you all.
How's it going?
Oh, good, buddy. Thanks for coming back. Good to see you as ever.
I'm alive after illness and holiday, but I'm here.
Back with a bang. And Charlie, good to see you, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good to see you. Good. Yeah, coming into an exciting weekend, hopefully.
Exciting. Look forward to that Leicester game.
Well, if the keeper decides to, pick himself.
Yeah, fingers crossed on that one for you. And McBride, of course, my man. Good to see you. How you feeling?
Yeah, good. Honestly, every week I watch that intro and I just think that's fucking brilliant. Honestly, that's so good. I love it. But yeah, I'm good. I'm getting into Christmas spirit. There we go. See my Christmas jumper. You guys didn't get the remit. It's Christmas jumper day, so
Rudolph's on some white.
Yeah. That's what happens when you have fry-ups and you drink Madry and all that type of stuff. But I'm good. Looking forward to the weekend.
Should be a good one. We were just saying there before coming on. Last week, when we came onto the channel, we'd had our first full week on the Advent calendar, Neon Christmas on Sorare, and all the rest of it. We had those announcements as well of what the special weeklies are going to be, and we got we've not quite had an announcement as such, but something did come out this week, and it was telling us a bit more details about one of the specials, I think. And it kind of dawned on me at that point that we still don't know what the special is for Christmas weekend or the Christmas game week. There's this mystery special. So again, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the announcement they gave us was for one of the ones that's out in January at some point.
I think so, yeah.
But yeah, as we are talking now, it's the 13th, so this thing's got to be like 2 weeks away. What could it be?
I was imagining it was going to be like another competition where you had to have neon, like maybe you had to have one special edition neon card or something like that to put in there. Just something like that, because at the moment there's no use for the rare. I mean, apart from the fact they look bloody cool, there's no use for the neon rare cards, is there? Because it's only a limited tournament in January. So I thought maybe they'd have one for each scarcity, but you had to have a special edition, or you had to have something like one of the neon cards in there or something like that.
Yeah, it feels a bit strange for them to just not let people know. Like, it's what, a week? Is it a week out?
Maybe they've forgot.
Something like that. Yeah, like for them not to say, like, it's going to be, like, everyone's got neon cards at this point. Like, I think for them to not tell anyone, it kind of indicates probably going to impact the market, possibly drastically, once they announce it.
That's what it was. We got the community vote for one of them. Did you vote on it yourself? Did you see the poll?
Yeah, I voted on it, yeah.
What did everyone vote for?
I was going to say, can you remember your choices?
You're going to have to give us the options. I forgot them.
Well, you'll see my options. Or you'll see my choices as you see the options.
Oh,
we had choice one.
Specialist, yeah.
Cap, underdog, specialist, or select your target. I went select your target. Looks like we lost to the cap mode guys.
I think I went cap.
And then the second one was anti-stack, full stack, position based. So I read that as like the ultra attack type thing, where it was or flying goal maybe. And score matrix change, which is what I voted for. Again, second in the poll, both of mine. So we're going with a cap anti-stacks, maybe.
I fucked that up. I thought they were all different options, so I only voted for one of them and I left the other one out. Anyway.
It was like when you order your pizza, McBride, and you get two toppings. It's one of those ones. You need to make sure you pick two different things, rather than just or miss the second topping out.
Pepperoni and pepperoni.
Double pepperoni, yeah.
It's a classic.
Yeah. I did vote for anti-stacks though, so there we go. Probably just because of the good result in it the last time, but it's kind of nice to have a change of pace from just slabbing out like 5-man teams and stuff. So,
have Celtic got a game that week?
Probably will have. Yeah. We don't have a game week on the weekend of the neon special, so Charlie was saying that everybody's got neon cards, so I don't have any. So
sorry.
No, them. Like,
What, you've got 0?
I've not bought any of them. I don't think.
Yeah,
Well,
but
I've won.
you not got rewards.
Yeah, I've won some, but I don't. I've not bought any. So
Yeah.
I'm in protest because there's no Celtic on that weekend. Yeah, mystery thing. I think if they wanted to sell cards for it, they'd have told people that you need cards for it. So I think it'll be something totally different. I think it'll be like you know, in like poker and stuff, they do like the sort of mystery prize type competitions. So you've got like bounties and like you just like if you come in a certain position or whatever, you pull out a reward and you can get like a jackpot reward or a couple of jackpot rewards, and then there's lower amounts and stuff. So I think it'll be like
That would be
something
fun.
that would be quite good.
What would be the reason for them to not? That's what I'm like. The way I'm thinking of it is, why would they not tell anyone yet? Like, there's got to be a reason they've kept it.
Because it's a mystery. I think they're
You
trying
haven't
to build.
decided.
They're trying to build a bit of hype. I mean, like obviously, I know I'm always kind of slagging off the calendar, but that one where it's like the frozen passer, where there's like no passes or whatever, like that's not really my type of thing. But I suppose like if it's a mystery thing, then there's a bit of intrigue behind it, and then like when they announce it, if they think it's going to be a fun competition, then it will have built up a bit of hype towards it. Even if people are thinking maybe you need some neon cards for it, then that's probably still getting them a bit of money on some of the buys. So it's not a bad thing, I don't think.
Are the neon animateds the best animateds that are out?
They're pretty bloody good. I mean,
I
I
think
do.
so,
I like.
yeah.
I mean, I like a lot of the cards they've done this season. To be honest, like even probably my least favorite one is that one with the wave that goes behind. But then I've got him on my Salah Rare and Salah Limited, so I sort of love them that design now as well. So, but yeah, no, I love all of those. Everything they've done in terms of card design, I love.
I think the one that's kind of like the bars and it's kind of bent in the 3D shape and it just pure rattles up dead quickly. I
Yeah,
don't think
that's
anyone's
the
really a
one.
fan of that one.
No, that's the one I've got on my Salah card. And
Oh, really? Is
I
it? I thought you
didn't
meant the
like
kind of the watery one. No.
No, I didn't like it, but now I love it just because Salah bangs every week. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, you're right. That's definitely
hurts
my
my
least
face.
favorite one.
I thought my least favorite one was I can't remember now. But I think the animated one, like, see, even if you just because they're not really Christmas, like it's not overtly like, oh, this is a Christmas based thing. See, when you get away from the season, they might. That's what I was thinking. I think it was yesterday, the day before, that maybe they're the nicest cards they've done this year. I think even I think like I've got like no animateds in my collection, and I think like the base definitely looks really rubbish compared to the animated ones. It just looks pure flat and like old school, or not in a good way, but if you know what I mean, it's like feels like the kind of the cheaper one, if you know what I mean. I don't know how to put it in any other words. There's definitely a way of doing it, but so yeah, animateds are cool, and I think the neon ones like are probably going to be the ones that stand out the best. I don't know, I don't know, but probably that's just me saying that, but yeah, I quite like them.
The animated thing just kind of moves a wee bit, but so it's not really that much different. It's just like this is your card and it's got the light, but if it's the animated one, then the light just moves about a bit. So it's a wee bit like the Christmas lights, but you've not turned them on yet. It's like you get the Christmas lights, so you get the 5 different settings where it's like the lights are on their own, and then like 2 minutes later they start going, and then like that type of thing. But I think they look really good overall. Like I think they're really well designed, and you can see that. Like even the whole site, I guess, like, I'm not a fan of the way you navigate about the site or some of the functionality or whatever, but it's looking really good now. Definitely is looking a lot better.
Nah, this is the busy one. The escalator.
Yeah, no, you're right. I didn't like that one, but because it's on a card I love, I think I've just fallen for it. But
Sorry.
Andrew Laird has gone and bought a load of limited cards from various, I think mostly from the Belgium League, and he's pulled loads of special editions. I was looking, he did a stream on it earlier. It was quite interesting, but loads of fun cards.
They're good. And it doesn't feel like it's going to be the last either, this neon edition. I don't know how many more times they can go back to the well on this in terms of just how many times they can really force out lots of cards. against a promotion like this, design wise. You know, so is this maybe the pinnacle for it? Do you think like after this, there's no more special editions, or is there room? Also, they can design as many different things as they want, but actual card amount and calendar, I suppose, it's maybe a bit of the combo of the thing.
I'd love to
But
see
is
them
it-
targeting like one-off days, like, you know, St. Patrick's Day, just doing like, you know, random, like there's one card or something, or like a few cards just, you know, littered on the market for it, or Valentine's Day or Easter. I don't know what kind of designs they could do, but they could just do little fun things around those days, which people would look at the cards and think, yeah, cool, I'd buy that, and just pay a bit more for it. But these designs, yeah, they've been elite this season.
Aye.
The only thing I don't like is, and it's probably because I'm going off site, but you can't see them in Sorare data. You know, so in Sorare data, you just see the background, there's no animation. So maybe that's something that they would want to fix, like on the app and things. But yeah, mostly I'm sort of checking on there because I find the goal notifications or the decisive notifications or whatever are a bit more sort of quicker or more reliable. But I think they're looking really good. I quite like the one with the stadium in the background as well, because like it's just like a totally different design, you know, so it does make it a bit more unique. I know they're not actually unique, but the one with the stadium behind it's quite cool.
Yeah.
I think that's
You're
Celtic
safe,
Park. It looks quite like Celtic Park. Maybe that's why in my head I'm like, it's honestly, like, I'm glad. I don't know just if I'm imagining that, but obviously they've got to tie in with Celtic and everything, but it does look quite like the top deck of Celtic Park. So
It's kind of got 3 tiers, but if you look closely towards the bottom of this guy's shoulder, you can see the bit you're thinking about. The upper tier is actually like the 3rd tier.
nah,
You see this wee line here? That's a middle tier.
Oh, yeah.
so that's probably not then. No.
So New Camp maybe, or somewhere in South America or something maybe.
Just because the lights, because obviously you know you get the disco lights at
It's got
Park.
the same kind of roof and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's like a lot of similarities.
I've just seen Dean Iverson in the chat saying he likes the Christmas star animation, and it just twigged to me. Yeah, of course, that's what it is. I just thought it was a star because players are stars. It just literally bypassed me completely. So thanks, Dean. You just brought that to my attention about 2 weeks too late for me.
I've just realised there's a chat. It's like 4 weeks or something. There's a chat. Like, hey, everyone in the chat.
I thought we were just on a Zoom call chatting.
I still have no idea what the F neon has to do with Christmas. Yeah, it's kind of fair. I'm kind of a few on that. Other than just lights on the tree being neon, I suppose. I like the kind of North Pole, Northern Lights kind of setting that we've had for the Advent calendar boxes whenever they've came out. That's been fun.
Yeah.
What's
Nice
the
wee-
what's the link? Do anybody know what they think the link is? So they put in the first video and it looked like it was like a desert. You know, it was like everybody was like, "Oh, we're getting Saudi Arabia." Like, has anyone worked that out yet?
What video was that?
Maybe it's because it's Christmas and like,
Wasn't that to do with the
now, but like
you know when you go to reveal your pack and it's kind of like a snowy North Pole background.
Okay,
sort of thing.
yeah.
Was it maybe a zoom in at that or something?
so maybe because Jesus was from like some sort of desert somewhere that was like in Bethlehem, and it was like I don't know. Like I like everybody looked at it and there was people going on going, "Oh, we're getting Saudi Arabia now," because like
People love to overthink stuff, don't they? But
yeah,
no, I'm down for it. I love a bit of wild speculation. Don't get me wrong, but you know.
I just think of me after the beers, like my mouth's like an Arab sandal. Anyway, that's digressing a bit now. Isn't it? So,
Liam Cleo here, absolutely killing it. You definitely need an icy kind of one for Cole Palmer. That just feels like money left on the table, doesn't it?
Oh,
Big time.
definitely, yeah.
like I've got a Cole Palmer, and I think I would actually still buy another one of those. To be honest, like
To be fair, those celebration cards last year, I did love when they came out at the
Yeah.
time. I mean, this year's cards now make them look rubbish. However, when they came out, they looked elite. I'd love to see some more of those at some point. But
Yeah,
I think we were looking at card editions last week as well. It's just good, wholesome fun. I can't help it. But celebration ones came on last week as well, and like I totally forgot about them actually, Monkey, until they came on screen last week. But they are cool.
Yeah,
Looks
I
like
mean,
Nep's
when they
one
came
as
out,
well,
they looked
doesn't he?
elite. But
Looks like Nep's around. Think he's going to join us.
Oh, bring me in, coach. Love it. Nip, you should be in the chat anyway. I'll send it to you. I'll send it, buddy. I'll send it to you all the same. Nip in the Z.
he's here to complain about the Arsenal game not being in the Prem competition over Christmas.
Oh, is it not?
Yeah, I think it falls on the wrong day or something like that.
It's New Year's
Nah,
Day,
oh,
isn't it?
Well, here, me and McBride, we don't give a fuck because see when they changed the game weeks or they changed the fucking deadlines or something.
Yeah, over
we were
the
playing Aberdeen on the Saturday early kickoff, and I can't remember how, but the game wasn't included for some fucking reason, and we absolutely pumped them. McGregor must have scored about 500 points or something.
Yeah,
And it wasn't and
I remember
that.
What was that?
I get screwed out with such a huge win, and see around that time, people were moaning about all sorts, and I wasn't. And somebody said to me like, "Oh, you never moan," and I was like, fucking, I've got the biggest reason to moan, but it's a fucking game. Yeah, I mean, you fucking. Sometimes you get fucked over, and you just got to fucking, keep going. In some ways, it depends what we're talking about at the time, but aye. So I know how that feels, but I've been there, mate. I've got that badge, got that t-shirt.
I had the Liverpool game get cancelled last week, didn't I? Immediately chalked 25 teams. So, you just laugh it off and move on, don't you? But it took a little while to laugh.
It's so sore, but it's so sore when it happens. But I was watching the game. I can't remember. McBride remembers it, obviously, you can see by those nods, but we absolutely spanked them that week. And it was like my stack. You know what my guys were like, Maedas and Kyogos.
Yeah,
not often they get beyond 70. You know what I mean? And when they do, you can't play them.
It just wasn't covered. It wasn't even you could play an all-star. It just wasn't actually covered at all. That was like the worst. Doesn't it?
What's up, guys?
Penfez in the house.
I
Good
am,
to see
mate.
you, mate.
Yes, indeed.
Where's in season the Penfez?
Mate, well, he's there today, isn't he? Got a couple of good wins over the last few weeks from in season.
Yeah, you've been smashing it.
I have been, yeah. It turns out buying the best players really does work.
Who knew?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. No, but
Nice Christmas jumper. Nice Christmas.
Mate,
Look.
it was. Oh yeah, let's go, dude. That's nice. Have you got kids, McBride?
Just one eye, but he finds that hilarious, so that'll do me.
Is that because it was the kids had the Christmas jumper day today? So my son picked my jumper for the day, and that was this. That's about as Christmassy as I get, unfortunately.
Nice.
Yeah. I just literally just joined though. I didn't really catch the pod before, but the card designs every year they look sick, don't they? But every new year they make the last year's look ancient, don't they? It's crazy how good they're actually at designing the cards.
They know what they're doing, Sorare, from that point of view, don't they? They know.
Yeah, they do.
Do.
They do. It's good. How's game weeks for you guys anyway?
Good question. I
can't complain. Yeah, it's, Liverpool game got chalked off, but
Hey, mate, did you get relegated though? That's the thing, isn't it?
I kept one thanks to like a 3-man stack, which was more annoying because if the two other players had gone off, then I probably would have podiumed. But
yeah,
it was a weird week, wasn't it? So
yeah, it was. I had Salah captain 2 times in Division 1 in season, and both of them managed to stay in season, and I got a box out one of them as well. So I was pretty happy with that. I can't lie.
I think you needed like around 110 or something to get relegated. So
that's right, yeah.
No,
that's not bad. Yeah.
But yeah, how do you feel about the Arsenal game not getting covered for the?
Yeah, so you're just talking about that. It's difficult, isn't it? Because on the one hand, with Celtic playing Rangers, any Arsenal stacks are probably guaranteed a reward. But on the other hand, the reward is just going to be awful. But it's interesting from Sorare's perspective of here's your utility for the year. Like you get to play these in 38 competitions. And it's like, well, actually now I only get 37 competitions. So what are you going to do to compensate for me? I wonder if it would be better for them to open up the Premier League, but just have a massively reduced cash pool and prize pool. Maybe that would be better. I don't know.
Yeah. That's what I said about the Real Madrid thing. So there was Real Madrid and Barcelona were playing the same week as the Premier League. And what they did was they opened the Premier League and then they opened Champion. So what that then meant was that people could also play their Premier League cards in Champion, but also against just the Real Madrid or the Barca cards. It's like, why you just open the La Liga competition and then just reduce the down? Because actually you'd either have good prize pools or you could probably save a bit of money over opening like Champion, or you could put some of the Champion money into the Premier League and like sort of beef that up a wee bit and then just have a contest between Real Madrid, Barcelona, and whoever they were playing. Because that's what it used to be. It used to be if you had one game, then that was enough between two teams to like actually open a region, and then they would just make the rewards according to that. But
I bet people would spend more money as well if it was open, because right now with All-Star, nobody's going to buy any cards for a small All-Star prize pool. But if Prem was open even for the one game, how many people that have got like 3 Arsenal cards or 3 who we playing Brentford or whatever it is, 3 Brentford cards would be like, do you know what? Actually, I will go and buy some cards to be able to submit a lineup. So Sorare would make money off of like the 5% transfers or like any sales off the market as well, that would cover any cost of like I don't know, maybe even like a $3,000 or $4,000 prize pool for the whole tournament. They'd cover those costs off quite easily, I think.
Yeah.
Feasible, aye, for sure.
How's,
I think.
Sorry, Quinny. I watched your video a little bit the other day. How's MFL? Is it worth getting into?
It's good
I know
fun,
this
mate.
is a Sorare pod, but
Yeah, no, I don't mind. It's like I've not so I had to kind of step away from Football Manager when I became an adult because I just wouldn't have ever progressed in life, if you get me. I was like, that was the way my childhood was. I was like 13 hours a day Football Manager. So it hits a lot of those old buttons where because it's like basic, if you know what I mean. It's like playing FM04 or something in terms of like, it's got enough stuff. There's enough things to tweak your tactics to be very bespoke to you, and the player selection is quite fun as well. With the amount of stats, the player's age and stuff like that, they can get better, from their displayed stats and stuff, which is fun. But it is like, it's very much just like a game. Like, it's very easy to pick it up, play it for like an hour or two. Your matches are like once a day. So like, I was ill over the weekend. I don't know if that was the video you caught, but I had 2 matches to watch in the one sitting, and that was like extra fun because it was like, I had 2 games like back to back to kind of run through. But then when it's done, you can kind of walk away from it, if you know what I mean. Yeah. You can kind of go back to doing whatever else you were doing or whatever.
Yeah, that's nice.
So it's like, it's fun. It's good fun.
Did any of you guys ever play FM Online, or FMO as it was called? It cost like $5.99 a month.
No,
it was.
I would have been all about that.
20 years. It was like 20 years ago. It was like just before its time. It was really good. It's like you entered into a world with 1,000 you and 1,000 like managers all together, and it was literally incredible. Like from the scouting to the club building and like how the clubs worked and stuff, and just not enough people would pay for it. And so they just shut it down in the end. But if they brought that back now, especially in like the Web3 world, I think it would absolutely smash for Football Manager. With what they've got as like a core game, imagine it must be easy for them to transition it to Web3.
I think they've got enough trouble actually getting the game out at all, haven't they, at the moment?
They have at the moment.
Or maybe the Web3 is the thing they're looking to do, and that's what's completely screwed them this year. But I mean, I've loved the first season of MFL, but yeah.
Oh, you played it as well. I saw. Right, you're going to get into it, aren't you? Next season, is that right?
Yeah, I joined sort of kind of halfway through the first season, so I've been building up all the sort of teams for the second season. I promise I went in as like I have a budget. I'm only going to spend like $100, and I'm not in it. And then I got like quite into it, and I've spent about $1,000 so far. So, but I'm really enjoying it. And there's like Quinny was saying, like it's quite good because you can kind of play a game and then like. You can set your team in advance, and then you don't have to be there for the game as well. It's not like FM where you need to be like watching the game and like making subs during the game. You just watch the game play out, shout at your screen when you're winning.
Yeah.
The 3-1. So that's what happened the last time. I was more shots on target, more possession, more XG, and I was getting like beat 2-0, and I was like, yes, boys are right out of the plan here. But it's interesting, and also I know we're on talking about Sorare, but I think you can do both as well. Like somebody messaged me and said, are we going away from that to go to that? And I don't think it's a case of that at all. I think it's just something that you can play it past the time as an aside. Yeah, it's a different game. It's different.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice.
I think it lends itself as well to sort of streaming as well. Like I know, Quinny, you've done your videos and stuff, haven't you, on it and stuff like that, which is quite fun, just watching your games, and you can cut them down just to the highlights. But, if you've got a big game, you can stream it. And it's, that's the thing that Sorare sort of lacks, doesn't it? That sort of like, part where you can just play the game in front of someone, because you can buy cards, you can submit your lineups, you can open your rewards, but it's difficult sort of linking that to sort of the real world football. Whereas if it's virtual football, it's quite easy just to have the game up and talk about it and sweat it with people online and stuff like that. And I think that's the part that MFL sort of have nailed quite well. And it's quite basic, but
are they NFTs as well?
They are.
Yeah.
Nice. That's all right, isn't it?
And like the thing I like about it, is like when you mint your club, like you'd call your club what you want to, and so many people have used like AI image generators, and the badges are flames. Like some of the clubs that are like my first game of the season, it was against a team called Barely Legal, and their logo was just like Pornhub.
Oh dear.
And their whole squad was like 16 to 19.
Oh dear.
Sounds like McBride.
And that's a wee bit exciting or whatever, but there's proper effort, and like everyone.
Have you seen what's it called? One Football Fan. It's a fantasy football game. It's like NFTs and Web3 as well, and everything is AI generated. And like some of the players, they're all AI generated. They have like Instagram accounts, which is all AI generated. There's like an AI generated picture of them like at the airport going to their next game and stuff. And they have literally, no word of a lie, got brand deals for these AI generated players.
It's mad.
Like, yeah, it is fucking wild.
Wow.
Yeah. I think the bit is quite interesting as well, because like just bringing it back to Sorare, like obviously Sorare have got to pay for the licenses, they've got to do all the real life stuff. You know, they've got their overheads and things, and where these other games have an edge or a disadvantage is obviously, I was initially thinking, well, it's fake players or whatever, you know, so like you're not having that connection with like UNEP. You're like, I want to watch my Arsenal stack, I want to watch a game, I want to be there when Arsenal win 4-0 and I've swept up everything, and that'll be the best feeling ever, and you won't have that actual connection with your real life club. But then on the flip side, like obviously they can do stuff like they just say, right, okay, the players are going to age every month, and in like 10 11 months time, all your players are going to be 33 and they're going to start retiring, and you're going to have to buy more players. So then that helps like the ecosystem. So we're talking about there's too many cards or whatever just now, and how you solve that. And you were waiting for people to go to Saudi Arabia just now, or waiting for people to get injured or whatever, you know. So it is quite interesting all that, and you see like how people are obviously rare and legendary cards, but people are paying more money for rare cards, which there's quite a lot of actually, than like some of the kind of almost star real life players on.
Yeah, it's mad. Do you reckon Sorare could do a game like that? As like a Sorare V2, where they do like a a fantasy, true fantasy football of like just random people like and like generate the game results.
It's a totally different arm, isn't it? Again, I was thinking when we were kind of on this topic there, it's kind of like the good thing about it is it's kind of like, if you think like FIFA is also a good example for this, because you've got like what Chani does, like career sports mode, and like kind of what Monkey was saying, like Sorare's maybe missing in that regard. But like if you want to play story mode, you can do story mode whenever you want, you know. Whereas like actual Sorare, we can't make, you know, the Manchester Derby happen right now because we're all sitting here, you know.
Yeah, but could you imagine for Sorare, they're like, imagine they had a free to play mode that's like Football Manager, where it's like if you can win the Premier League within 5 years, you get like a 20 essence. Do you know what I mean? Like, how cool would that be? But their game is like under their own rules and pretense. So, you know, you get, it's like a fantasy world still, but they're like, it's something they could explore. I might have to poach it. Actually, I might have to like get it set up, secure it, get it signed, and then sell it to them. Yeah.
Yeah, it could work for sure. Because I think like some sort of story mode thing like is maybe something that's missing from like the site, the game itself, rather than just like say wait for all the matches to kick off and stuff. So I think that's part of the MFL thing that works well, is that is like it's just story mode, where if you want to play it, you just play it, and if you're just sitting there, obviously it's not as much of a upkeep.
Yeah.
As well as like, you know, who's injured, who's fit, where's the news, like it's not the same slog.
Is there like meta to it though? Is there like things that you have to do? Like,
yeah, there's definitely a wee bit of tricks to learn.
Beating up his kids and
that kind of stuff. I was going to say, yeah, I'll find out whoever's mic that is. And that's your putting me off on it. But no, there's definitely like tricks and all that, and there's a few kind of Sorare data-ish websites around it that I've not really got under the bonnet with, that kind of help point you in the direction of like, this guy's a left mid, but if you play him centre mid, you'll be laughing, you know, kind of thing, and things like that. So help me value players and whatever else as well. So
I think the tactics as well. There's a lot of, you know, every season they evolve the match engine, and the match engine with the tactics. Different tactics will do better against different tactics. So it's whoever like puts in the work, does the friendlies to try and work out, you know, what position or what formations might work against what, you know, and try and do that sort of stuff. So that you don't have to do that. You can just buy the best players and run your team against anyone. But other people have tried to have sort of average teams, but try and beat the tactics, and they've done quite well as well.
Is there like prize pool for it as well?
There is, yeah. I guess that's the main thing with MFL. Probably sort of lets it down is that there's no cash at the moment, but you win MFL, which isn't a token, and then you use the MFL to buy packs, which you get cards, and then you can sell the cards on the open market and then withdraw that cash if you want. So
yeah. So what's the incentive to buy the cards for cash then? If is there going to be like cash prizes and stuff eventually, so it's worth getting involved in, or?
There could be. I spoke to the guy that sort of runs it, and I think he's just sort of keen to sort of ramp things up slowly. Like they don't want to sort of like chuck everything at it straight away. He just wants to sort of build a sustainable ecosystem and then see where they go from there. But
sustainable. What a word that is, hey?
I know. Yeah,
Everyone's favorite word.
Yeah.
I think on Sorare, like actually, like that would be a kind of cool thing to do for Legends. So obviously they've got these legend cards just now, and they've not really managed to bring them into the game without sort of buggering everything up. But surely they could kind of do something surrounding that, or like I've seen somebody mention in the chat, like obviously in Ultimate Champions, they at one point they actually run virtual game weeks where they just generated the results, and you could use your cards in that, and the rewards were obviously like quite low compared to the actual game weeks, but it gave you a bit of added utility. So I wouldn't sort of rule it out, because obviously you're going to get points where, like, say for example over the summer they're talking about the J League and the MLS changing their leagues to a European calendar. So if they do that, then like you're going to have downtime where everybody's going to be like, right, I'm going on my summer holidays, I'm not buying any cards anymore, there's nothing to be done. And then obviously there's Sorare not paying out, but also they're not selling any cards as well. So it's definitely something worth exploring, but it could be tied in with stuff like Legends. That would be quite cool.
Yeah. Legends. Like, honestly, I've been burnt a lot of times by Sorare, but Legends was one of the bad ones, man. I spent a lot of money on the limited Legends, and it's a big regret.
Just keep buying them when they're worthless, and then they'll announce something for one game week. They'll fly, you'll sell them all, and then
maybe
buy them back after that game week.
They haven't been too bad. Like, I mean, they have been bad, but they haven't been too bad because as like trainers, they're really good, right? Like I use them to like as soon as I got like my Arsenal in-season cards this season, every midweek I was putting 2 Legends in with my best 3 Arsenal players, and I was just getting that XP on them as much as possible. And it's like, that value might actually be more valuable than people think, because having an extra % or 0.5% on a player that's really common like Bukayo Saka is the world of difference when you're in those podium spots. So I'm not saying it, I'm trying to like cope a little bit here. I'm trying to make good of a bad situation, but they have had some value in that regard.
Definitely very undervalued. I think the training aspect of it. That's something I've noticed this season as well. It's like since I've always had 6 training teams anyway, so it doesn't really affect me, the change. But picking who goes into training is like, especially when you do have like strong classic teams or strong classic rosters or whatever you want to think of it as, like, like who needs this %, who needs this extra little kick in training this week more than everyone else on the list, can be a bit of not a sweat, but certainly a tough one.
Yeah. I've been training Rodri in the hopes that he gets like 3 or 4 games at the end of the season, and no one can touch me. Like this, it's a long play, but if it goes wrong, it's not the end of the world. I'll use him in Classic next season. It's funny actually.
Yeah, Club World Cup as well. He's probably got the Club World Cup.
Oh, is that right? When's that? Is that in January? Have they changed it? Oh, they changed it. Fair enough.
Yeah. Are you not in it? Is Arsenal not playing in it?
That we have to win something for that.
No, I don't think somebody should see Salzburger in it.
Oh, is that right?
Oh yeah, some real random qualifications. Yeah.
They're bad this season, aren't they? Of
course they're bad. In there, but it's nice.
Are they?
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, at least they've got in by winning something. Inter Miami are just in there because apparently they're one of the host cities.
Oh yeah.
And obviously Messi plays for them, doesn't he? So
that's probably the big thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
They won the league. I mean, come on. Like,
no, but that was this season.
They won the league. They did win the league section. So,
what did they win? The supporter shield? Is that what it's called? Did they won?
Yeah.
I don't know. They have a prize for everything out there, don't they? Sorry, America.
It's not the best graphic I've seen, but I don't know if it was on this show last week we had it on, but I was certainly talking about this over the last couple of days at some point. It's not the best graphic, but you can just about. Or maybe we'll get a better one. You can't really see the teams at the bottom, but
Well, let me just get my
Chelsea in there. What's that?
yeah,
Oh, they won the
there's some
Champions
random-
League 4 years ago, didn't they? That was the
Yeah.
reason.
we'll get a better one. That's rubbish.
I've just realised Atletico Madrid are in there, so I better keep Oblak, even though he's done a 5 and a 20 something or whatever for the first 2 game weeks that I've got him.
Sounds like an honour.
Like,
Did he
every
get-
player I
he hit
buy,
0 last week, didn't he?
every player I buy tanks. I literally bought Gyökeres 4 games ago, and he's hit 4 yellows in a row. Like, what are the odds? Like,
I did that with Cuisance this as well. He's been
Oh, yeah.
mince ever since
oh
I
yeah, he's
got
been
him.
terrible for like 5 games, hasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, since I got him. But
He
that's it there.
should be a fun player, shouldn't he? Like Cuisance. That's the problem with him.
I think he still gets a bit 10 AA, even when he's not getting those decisives anymore. So it's still a wee glimmer of hope, but it just feels like I should never have brought him back. You know, Cuisance is one of those guys I used to have when he was nobody and a pain in the ass and couldn't get a game. I seen all those green scores and I was like, oh, it's like taking back connects you shouldn't get back with, you know it's going to be trouble. You know it's going to be bad. But you do it anyway because you think it'll be fun. And then it's
Some
split up my
teams in
face.
there, aren't there? We Dad, what's up? We
Yeah.
Dad. Yeah.
Monterrey. There's like 3 Mexican teams or something like that. It's like, what? Like, why do they have so many?
Alan Ian, that sounds like 2 guys that are just going for a pint on a Friday night, doesn't it? Like, Alan Ian.
Aye. I was surprised with the whole Messi factor. Like you guys said that the Ronaldo's team wasn't in this because you'd think they would just make that happen as well. Messi v Ronaldo to give this prop some sort of weight, you know.
I'm sure they
Achieve
tried to
progress as
find
Tyson.
some way.
Wait, they've got Al Ali as an Egyptian team, aren't they?
Oh, there's a few Al Alis.
Oh, is there? Oh, fair
Yeah,
enough.
there's a lot of owls out there.
Yeah, see, normally when you see them on like flash scores and that, it normally denotes what country they are. If it's Champions
okay.
League, like in their name, because it's like identical. It's like the same
Yeah.
name.
Yeah, I thought they were a Saudi team. Yeah.
Uruguay Reds are up there as well, living at large against River Plate.
Canales will rip him to bits. Big Canales is rocking it just now in contender.
But he does. I bought him when he left La Liga. I bought his rare card because I was like, he's going to smash out there. And to be fair, he did. But then Sorare were like, oh yeah, by the way, like these Mexican teams are pish now, so he's worthless. And so I was like, his scores got better and better and better, but his price just kept plummeting down because he was worthless all of a sudden. You got to love it.
Yeah.
That's always the way it goes. And we're noticing quite a lot on the deadline show. Be interested to see if you guys have got anything on this as well. And over the last week or so, like it is backup goalkeeper season, like everywhere, man. There's backups.
Don't.
Oh, you're losing number ones, are you?
Mate, I've got 3 rare Allisons. Fortunately, he's just come back. I've got 3 rare Ter Stegens. Mamadashvili I bought last week. He's now injured for the rest of the year, but it's been mixed reports whether that's the season or the calendar year. I've got loads of Aaron Ramsdale's because of the Arsenal like stacks, and he's now out for like 3 or 4 weeks. I bought the Red Bull Salzburg goalkeeper. He's injured for bloody ages. Like every time I buy goalkeepers, they're just done. Edison got dropped. Like they either get dropped or injured, and it's like I keep saying to myself, like one of the things when I first started watching Sorare content, like all those years ago, one of the things I think you used to do was just to have goalkeepers and always handcuff the goalkeepers, always buy that backup because they're pennies, and when they're needed, you can either sell them or you can use them. Like it's the same value. And I'm like, I should always buy the backup goalkeeper of goalkeepers that I buy, and I still never ever do.
Yeah, it reminds me I need to go and buy some backup goalkeepers.
Such good insurance to have. McBride was definitely the goalie guru for me. McBride was the master of the number 2 goalkeepers coming out the woodwork. Woodwork.
Yeah.
But there's good value in having some of them though, right? Because like look at Kelleher, for example. Yeah. If you had like 3 or 4 Kellehers at like £8 or £10 when Alisson was in goal, not only do you get some utility out of him now, but he's definitely going to go to a team and be a starting goalkeeper. He's way too good to be on the bench. Like it is a bit of a long-term play, more long-term than anything else in Sorare right now. But yeah, there is so much value to having some quality backup goalkeepers.
Yeah. That was like my whole strategy for about 6 months in Sorare at one point. It's like, remember the story of that, Quinny? Like my referral reward was Paul Lopez. So back at that point when you joined, you got a rare, right? So I bought 5 cards, like a Paul Lopez, and I'd spent like €100, and Paul Lopez was worth €60. So I got like 6/10 of that back just for that. And then the guy who signed me up, and I was like, well, I'm going to sell this guy, right? I put €100 in and I'll get €60 back. He's like, no, you want to play and you'll need a goalkeeper. I kept him, and I kept him for 7 months. I sold it for £1,000.
Fair enough. That's all right, isn't it?
That was just like that was back at the proper wild days, but that was me hooked. Like I was buying every backup goalkeeper ever you could like kind of imagine. But a lot of them I just sort of bought them and just some of them you had to sit on them for like a year and a half or whatever. But see, as soon as I get in, it was like, yeah, I've spent a tenner on this guy and I'm like selling them for £150. And so it definitely is. And the other thing's interesting you were saying about that there. I've kind of stopped because of the in-season thing.
Yeah.
You're thinking you're paying a bit of a premium because people are buying them for collections, and if they don't get in, then they become classic cards. But it's like what point you get them. But if you bought the starter, you really should buy the backup because you're just like fucked up your whole stack if you've got the whole collection and you can't play a goalkeeper. Like, so you really need to get them. So
I think goalkeeper's a position as well where a lot of people use classics in season. So like,
especially at the start of the season.
Yeah, especially, yeah, precisely, yeah. So I do think, and again, it comes down to the training. Like if you're if you've got like I don't know, let's say like Chelsea's backup goalkeepers, and say you've got all 5 of them, right? And you're just training them each week. Eventually, like if it comes to the point where one of them moves somewhere in as a starter, and you've got them on like level 20, somebody will pay a premium for your goalkeeper to get that XP advantage at the start of an in-season at the next season for sure. I'm gonna have to buy some goalkeepers, aren't I?
Yeah.
I've been buying winnings from the UCL. Oh, is that right? Yeah.
Not that many, but I got a few because I was looking at the calendar, and as like everyone here, I suppose, knows quite well, like over the festive period, it's English and Scottish football only. So I was kind of looking at it like I need 6 SPFL keepers like by December. But then one of them got injured, didn't he? So I had to go back into the market this week to try and get 2, and I got 1.5.
They are cheap as chips, though, aren't they? I bought a couple. I mean,
SPFL keepers are cheap, so
yeah, they're cheap as chips.
Not a bad game to play.
Schmeichel and Butland.
There's that one guy. There last year, I bought an SPFL goalkeeper. He was old and he's retired now.
David
Marshall. Yeah. And I bought him, and literally like 3 days later, he's like, "Yeah, guys, I'm done." I'm like, "Okay, brilliant. This is just my luck." But there's what's his name? Shamal George, is it? He seems to be like an actual quality keeper in the league, doesn't he? He has some red dots, but he gets a lot of like clean sheets and big save points. And every time I look at him, I'm like, I really should just buy a couple of him. And it's always me looking at him because he's been on a bit of a heater, and so his price is up. So I'm like, I'm not doing it now. I'll do it in a few weeks, and then just forget it exists until he like drops another mad score.
Ooh, Shamal George. I went to check him there. I thought we're on to something for a second here. He's like last season, Nip.
Is he? He's not in. Yeah. He's not playing anymore. Yeah, fair enough.
Livingston get relegated, and I thought, have I missed where he's playing? And then I pulled it up and it said Wycombe Wanderers, right? But it still shows L5 and 15 is 100% attendance.
Oh yeah.
I was like, is this guy a championship goalkeeper? We didn't know about it. But no, it's a bit of a false one on the old L5 and L15 thing, just because they've not been playing.
Well, it was good last year anyway.
Yeah, but there's like the league's just got guys like him in it, where like the guy, like the Shamal George, I think this year maybe is my guy, Ellery Balcombe. I don't know if you've ever seen this guy, but he went on a mad run of like 3 games with 3 different decisives. Gets it all right little way. St Mirren aren't too bad. Livingston, who George played for, got relegated in the end, so he faced a lot of shots. Maybe he's Laidlaw. Laidlaw's kind of like that bottom end of the table, and he's injured. So.
Malcolm's on loan from Brentford, but isn't he? So like he's probably a good pickup. He's only like 24, and like you imagine like maybe they'll loan him to the Championship or something. That's
Which one's that one?
Ellery Balcombe. He's on loan from, I think it's Brentford.
I think it's Brentford as well.
They tend to get quite a bit of the Premier League like 4th choices, don't they, in Scotland? I think.
Yeah,
especially.
Yeah, Will Dennis was there last season, and he's back now at Bournemouth. But again, it's like give the guy some game time, like they're just doing nothing. You wouldn't imagine he's going to sit in the bench forever. Like he'll surely get loaned out at some point to the Championship or go somewhere to get some football. I don't know. He looked quite good, Quinny, as well, didn't he, Dennis? Like he had a few really good games against Celtic and Rangers and stuff. And he thought he's got a lot about him as a goalkeeper, but there we go. EPL
Could you
club.
imagine being a fourth choice goalkeeper opposed to like a fourth choice centre back or something? Because as a centre back, you're like, I'm nearly there. Like a couple of injuries, bit of rotation, I'm good. Fourth choice goalkeeper, you're like, I need a miracle to get a game here. It'd be tough.
It's a totally different life as a goalkeeper. They kind of run a joke in Glasgow now about Scott Bain because he's like third choice behind Sinisalo and Schmeichel, and he's been at the club for ages. And he's still got like a juicy contract, so if you know what I mean, he's not like going anywhere anytime soon. And it's like, man, the life of a backup goalkeeper, you know, is. I remember as a kid, backup goalkeepers was definitely one of the first things I remember clicking onto. Is like something to think about in that way. So I remember seeing Man United win the treble. It's one of my first football memories, and seeing that Raymond van der Houw got treble winning medals. It's like, who is Raymond van der Houw, and can I get his job? That was kind of what I was thinking when I was like 12, you know.
that was back in the day where you had to have 10 appearances as well to get the Premier League medal. Like, I think they've changed the rules now, but yeah, it was a madness back then. I remember when I think when Arsenal were going to win the league, or one of the teams, they literally kept subbing the goalies on with like a minute to go in games they were like comfortably winning, so that he would get the medal for winning the league, even though he just sat on the bench the whole season.
Yeah. They get the glory, they get the paycheck, they get to play with the team, get to do everything, you know,
and nothing at the same time.
Yeah. Scott Carson and just like he's won everything.
Yeah,
he's won everything. Like only us in terms of Sorare buying him for the collection knew he was actually even in the squad.
Yeah.
He's kind of became a thing, isn't he? That kind of that homegrown old guy on the squad, like cheat code for. Like that for teams in the Champions League and whatever. I've been to see Man City like 4 times over the last couple of years. And the second time I went to see was in the Champions League. And I went with, I took John with me. We were coming back from the Spain trip that we did. And it was Champions League against Sporting Lisbon. I was like, oh, I can't wait to see like Ederson and all the rest of it. Under the Floodlights should be good crack. And the first leg, they'd beat Sporting Lisbon like 8-0 or something like that. Absolutely wiped them. And fucking Scott Carson started that game, didn't he? It's like Champions League quarter-final or something. I couldn't believe my eyes. I'm like, fucking coming to see Scott Carson. He literally had a cigar on the whole game. But I think Sporting actually won it 1-0. Or was that a draw? I can't remember. I was bored as fuck. Almost fell asleep. But I played Champions League at least once, if nothing else. And Mark Schwarzer's probably got a medal or two in that kind of vein as well. But where was Mark Schwarzer? Chelsea, wasn't it?
Chelsea, yeah.
Free tracksuits too. Yeah, you got to love some free clobber. Again, the rumours are in Glasgow we had a player called Izagiri, and apparently he went everywhere in club gear. Like he never bought clothes ever the whole time he was up here. Just always went about in his trackie or his club suit or whatever. Absolutely loving it. I did also have for tonight, guys. I'm just going to put this on as a bit of a sideshow, but I'd lined up 30 boxes to open tonight. So when I seen Nep come in here as well, I was like, hold on a minute. I might get a little bit of this content creator lot to talk about. We might have actually just sucked it into the building.
You only see the good ones, man. You don't see the bad ones.
That's what I tell everyone on our Discord, and literally they just fume every time you pull something decent. I love it.
So I'm just going to rattle through, see what we get. I'll probably be able to craft some bits and bobs after it, so we'll see if we get lucky. But
I managed to leave these boxes. You saving them?
Yeah, 4 game weeks.
Mate, open them up.
But it was like I had 6 and then I had 4 or something. I was like, oh, do you know, maybe I'll just save them up a wee bit and then rattle them.
I don't know how you do it.
That's outrageous, to be fair. Yeah. That's not how the game's supposed to be played.
Yeah.
Limited essence from rivals.
Funny, you watched Royal Levy's video? He was like, that's just fucking hilarious. The guy's just a madman. He was like planning on just saving up all his boxes and saving them for next season so they could get next season's cards. Like, go and watch it. It's hilarious, man, honestly. But he was like basically planning just not opening them at all, just building up like an absolute shit ton of boxes and just saying, right, that's when I want to open them now. I'll get like obviously my chance of getting essence or crafting for the new season. But it's a funny video. The guy is a maniac, honestly.
I keep telling myself that I'll be saving my market credits. I'm like, let me just save up like 2 or 3 grand's worth of market credits. So when the new season comes, I'll get everything half off. It'll be great. And then I get like £7 and I'm like, I can get a few collection pieces here. This would be great. So it doesn't last.
It makes it so easy to be impulsive, the market credits, doesn't it? If
Yeah.
you find a guy like on scouting, like, oh, that guy smashed 80 last game week, nobody's seen him yet, just snipe that.
I'm on 130 quid at the moment, so but I would have had nothing because I bid on Griezmann and somebody outbid me. So you're right, like I would actually have spent it because I was thinking, well, I could get this Griezmann like rare for like 100 quid.
Yeah.
Quinny's rolling in the credits.
Yeah,
Well,
wow.
look at that.
Look at that.
How
Concentrate
much
right
is
in
it?
luck.
How much
play
rare
limited?
essence? How much rare essence do you have, Quinny? Yeah, you've got to, haven't you? You've got to there. You're nearly at 20.
Yeah. Yeah, we should do it. We should do it. We should be all right.
Is your essence quite like spread between competitions, or are you like?
For rare, it's all over the shop. Where the hell
Yeah.
my boxes went? Oh yeah. No
At the top.
cards, boxes. I'm
Yeah.
losing myself here. Sorry. So my rare boxes are all over the place, but super rare is only champ.
Okay, nice. But do you play like the globals as well?
I don't mind playing them. At rare, we talking or super?
No, super rare.
No, I stay away from it deliberate.
You should,
No.
because the global box it's global, like global essence. So it molds into like a mix of everything you've got. So if you've only got champ essence, the global essence effectively becomes champ essence.
See, when they very first announced it, I read somewhere or I seen, I can't remember where it was, but somebody was talking about it or done an article on it, and I thought the global essence was more neutral, as in like
It's neutral in the sense of like if you've got like 33% contender, challenger, global, 3 global essence becomes 1 of each. Effectively, it molds itself to exactly what you've got. So if you've only got essence from one particular place, the global essence is just 100% that place.
Got you.
That's
Which
quite
means
cool.
you can like prioritize like specials and midweeks using really cheap like super rares to get essence to go into a champ pool.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's
So
quite good if they actually just put your essence stuff up on a display somewhere.
would be
I
nice,
thought
wouldn't
they
it?
were doing that.
Like a bar, like of like where your essence has come from and what your chances are or whatever.
You got 4 essence out of a box there. You are absolutely getting creative luck. That's crazy. That is.
We're good.
That's
I don't know.
the video in itself. That is. Like,
4, I suppose.
Yeah, the
I don't know.
jackpot
Depends on the
4.
box. That's a 4-star, that one. I think I've got some good boxes here as well. Should be all right. Aye.
oh, look at
There
that.
we
That's
go.
crazy. That's outrageous. That is.
That was a
We're
4-star
over
box.
20 now, are we?
Mate, it's so rare. Definitely. Look, you're going to get another 5 here. So rare watching.
This is maybe like some sort of special because it's not got a star on it or anything. Maybe like cat mode or
Hey.
something.
Oh,
Ooh. Aye, this is like a global thing.
So I've got 26 limited level ups now.
Wow.
Just kind of run out of cards to actually like put them. I know I've got a lot of cards, right? But I'm just collecting level ups now.
you have to buy more cards.
So it
Yeah,
sounds
I'm
like
on a hiatus. The wife is really like the place is illuminated. We've got Christmas lights. We've got loads of lamps. We've got 4 Christmas trees. Honestly, I'm not joking. We've 4 Christmas trees, so we're
Wow.
well served for lights in the house. So yeah, I've not been buying much recently, to be honest. But I'm sure I'll be back at some point.
Oh, here we go. The crafts here, Quinny. No, you could. I feel bad if I've pressured you into opening boxes and your
you've been
crafts
counting,
bad.
haven't you?
No,
You've been counting.
you get a little red dot up the top when you got enough to craft.
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
Rare pit, rare pit.
He's got to. He's got to.
You think so?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So we've got a light box.
With net pit, you're going to pull like Saka or something like that.
Oh, imagine that.
Oh, so I've got a lot of boxes to go, by the way. Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's go. Come on. It feels good. You just want a
Like
high
me.
serial number. That's all.
Yeah.
60, 65 or higher, and you're good. Oh, that's massive. That's massive. That's a star. That's a star. Bellingham. It's Bellingham.
Yes, Oxford, I'll take that.
That's not bad at all, by the way.
Is he a starting keeper? Is he?
Yeah, he is. I
Yeah.
bought his handcuff last week.
Oh, these fucking content creators, man, stealing all our luck. This is crazy.
See,
Oh, that's
most
solid.
people would be fuming by that, Paul. Even at tier 5 plus.
I
I
thought
think
you
it was the best game week. Oh, that was good. That was good. Net a shot of tequila for that one.
There you go, another keeper. Sorted.
Now, did you say you've got his backup already? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Backup. There's a nice backup as well. He's a Hungarian youth international on loan from West Ham.
Fair enough.
That just sounds like a guy who could play in Croatia.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
That's what I thought when I seen him.
I'm going
He
by
could play,
him now.
he could play for Vazadin. I can see that.
McBride's
Oh, look at this. Look at this.
5.
14 left.
It's on.
I
Come
feel
on,
we'll
we can
get
do another one.
Yeah, I'm happy we'll get another one. I don't think I'll get a big jar. There won't be any big jars, but there's been a few medium ones.
You just need one, don't you? Like occasionally you get one that's like 20 still, but I think it's the stars, isn't it? It's like the 4 and 5 star boxes. You can get decent amounts. Of. There
What
we
is
go.
this?
4.
Another 4?
We're going to make it, aren't we? But it must be over halfway already.
Quinny, you're not going to
Phone
believe
about-
this. You're not going to believe this, right? I went to go and buy the backup from Motherwell, right? No, this is a true story. The search bar has disappeared, and Sorare, I can't fucking find them. Honestly, go on your mobile. There's no search box now, so I was like, yeah, I'm just going to
Ooh.
find any players.
Ooh,
Maybe
there's
it's
a
like
wee blue jar
200
in this
rare
one.
essence. Oh, imagine that.
Oh, imagine that. Aye, even better. Sign me up for that. Come on, give me a bit of this. Need more of these boxes in my
Come on.
life. Where
Come
where have
on,
these been hiding?
pay out, pay out. Oh.
Another 4. Go on.
Aye, we're getting all the medium jars, aren't we?
No, you're going to get enough to get another craft.
I think so. I wonder if we've got another one big sweaty 5-star left.
These aren't all from midweek, are they?
Nah, this is like 4 game weeks, mate.
Oh,
It's been saving, and I've pressured him to do it, so I hope he gets a good card now.
So on Tuesday as well, Celtic played Zagreb at like 6 o'clock, and I was doing like a fan zone thing for it, kind of thing. So I knew I wouldn't be able to open last weekends on a video or whatever.
Oh, you've
so
got enough. Let's go. You're back in. Come on. Back in the game.
Back in.
I love it, Neb. You're so switched on. You just weren't looking out for that result.
After that 75, can we beat that? Higher or lower than 75?
75, that's the range.
Oh, it's bad. It's real bad. Oh, dear.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You've got a 4th choice goalkeeper here.
Play
Oh, he
it.
plays.
Yeah.
Hey, what a guy.
Only issue 22.
Kem Ustendag.
Must be a new transfer.
Nice. Midfielder.
U23.
He's probably get traded at some point if I don't use him. We got 2 boxes left. We could get jackpot lucky. 3-star
What?
classic box, unlikely.
What a beast that guy is. You've done well there.
Oh, is he good?
Nah. Nice.
Nah, no jackpots. That's fine, but I'm really happy with the Oxborough, by the way. I'm quite chuffed with that. We can crack them open as well, rip them out their packets.
Starting keeper, you can't complain, can you?
No, not at all. I'm losing my marbles right now.
If he's a special as well, then yeah, you've really done yourself well.
Yeah, by the way, for a 22.
Yeah.
Doesn't he plays for Wattens though, aren't they? They're bound to
Yeah,
get
he plays
relegated.
for the worst
right?
team in the world. Yeah. So, yeah, few and far between we'll be using him. But Oxborough, he's had a couple of stinkers right there, but he's been decent, you know.
It's not awful, is it?
Motherwell at 4th or something.
Sometimes you just need a warm body to set a team, don't you? You need a live
Yeah.
body. Put anyone in there.
So we're going back to the North Pole, guys, to see if we get some animated Christmas magic out of our Aston Oxborough.
So which part did people think was the desert then? Was it on this?
No, it was on the thing
It's loud, isn't it?
video.
They've made it loud.
No,
Hey,
it's
what a
not.
guy! I tell you what, though, the car, even though it's not a special edition, it looks like one, and that's good enough.
Yeah.
They look elite, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They look very good.
Aye. It's definitely better
When
than
you got
the-
75, I honestly thought that was going to be someone absolutely insane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
English as well. You just-
When I seen the England flag come up, that's what I thought.
yeah,
Like, wow, here we go. Palmer. That's what I was thinking.
yeah.
Give me a bit of that. And then let's see this guy. Does he look like a football player or does he look like a dweeb? That's what we're all asking ourselves, isn't it? Don't be a...
Oh, it's a special edition, I think.
Really?
How do you tell? I haven't
It's a little bit of oh, it's not no. What I thought it was, it isn't. So I'm wrong. There you go.
because the amount of times I've looked at it and think, oh, that was a bit different, and then it wasn't.
Yeah.
Like,
I bought a Matthews Cunha limited today to fill up a lineup, and he became a special edition, which was nice. So then I had to go and buy a couple more players to get them up to 2%. And before you know it, I'm now a proud collector of a full 5% Wolf stack. But no, I'm joking. I didn't go that far, but that's how they get you, isn't it?
It is.
It is. And thanks for all the chat, guys. Everyone's saying bloody creators luck and all the rest of it. Love to see it. And my guy gets sent off in the last game, Machem Ustendag. That's what we're calling it.
Yeah, needs a rest, and he's had a few games in a row.
So he doesn't play now until April then, because I think they're next. Is it February or March they're back? Yeah, I know it's like ridiculously long break. Yeah, it's like Russia. That's March, isn't it? Russia's back. It's comically long, some of these breaks. Have you managed to find your man yet, McBride?
I found him. Look, Kylian Mbappe.
Oh, let's go. Where'd you get that printed?
That was from Titan. So the guys that done the
okay.
behind me. So they sent me a wee pack and basically put in like a couple of like fridge magnets of cards I had with the serial numbers and everything. So
That's so sick. I'd love to do that myself. I was speaking to one of the Sorare guys that doesn't work for Sorare anymore, and being like, a sick business would be like literally that, like a Sorare business where it's like I can make your cards and send them to you. Like that's sick, and maybe have that's solid that is. And like have a plaque of like what they won you or what game week was. And he was like, the fact that you can't print NFTs, like it's illegal at that point. Like, so I was like, okay, I won't do that. But maybe for personal use, it's all right, isn't it? Nobody's going to come knocking. But
I didn't print them. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but no, like you've made me jealous now. I think I'm going to have to get some of my own players made up.
Yeah, well, the guys at Titan were really good, and obviously, like I want to get that done with the sort of first season Celtic collection. So yeah,
Are they a global company or local?
No, I think he's based over in like Australia or something. So but like actually it came within just like a couple of days, and everything was all pretty good, to be honest. So
nice.
And it's all like basically just like give them the link to the actual collection and just sorted everything out for there. So it was pretty straightforward, to be honest.
That's really solid, yeah. Are all the Celtic ones as well, like the same?
So that is basically my own collection. So he's printed all the different cards, and it's got all the right serial numbers and everything on it. And then down the bottom, it's got like the wee QR code. And if you go on the QR code, it takes you into your collection in Sorare as well.
That's really cool, isn't it?
Aye, because I've seen a few of them and stuff, but that one looked like kind of like the highest sort of quality, and you can just like open it and stuff. It's got a wee lock on it. You can open it. You can switch out the cards if you want. Because there's like one extra one. And I was like, yes, getting fucking volleyball and goalie right out of there. It's like I think the Celtic cards work quite well on it as well, because it was the first season and those are like Celtic's colours. Like there's like green, white, and gold. Yeah. So, but obviously the Arsenal ones or whatever, you want to make it kind of match to the strip. So the red ones would be quite good, because obviously you get the white and the red and everything. Yeah. But, no, that's nice. Money well spent. Yeah, absolutely. We'll tell the wife. We'll tell the wife how much it was.
Aye, I love it. It's a good display. I thought they were like going to be like Belgian or French or something. I don't know why. He said Australian, it totally threw me. It's like interesting.
Aye. I know. Well, he's got Sam runs it's on Sorare as well, so that's why he sent me the Dougie Santos, because like I bought that from him. So that's like the actual.
That's what funded his startup for his business.
Aye, that's it. Yeah, it was that was part. No, it wasn't part of this transaction. Well, he's done quite well for me actually in Contender, so there we go. So. Super Rare's not dead. Breaking news: Super Rare is alive and kicking. Aye.
All right, guys, I'm gonna have to go. My dinner's ready, but good chats. Thanks for having me on.
Good seeing you.
Guys.
Thanks for bringing the luck with you, mate. Appreciate it.
Got you, bro.
Nice jumper.
Thanks.
Take care, bud. Nice enough to pop in with us. That was all. That was unexpected, but very much enjoyed. I think actually walking about that website there, I'm really used to using the two screens and really used to going about Sorare when I'm doing streams. But see there, I don't know why it was pure messing with my head, like clicking in the wrong places and all that for the boxes.
Yeah.
I went back in time to like I'd never seen this before, and I was like, where's the boxes? Stuff like that just totally threw me for a spin.
I know.
Quite buzzing with the cards, quite like the Oxborough. The VR guy seems half decent.
But the search thing, I'm looking on the phone, and the search thing has disappeared.
Yeah.
I use the web app all the time when I'm lying on the sofa. How the hell am I meant to search for people now?
It's
I don't
still on online, but I can't because the first thing I did, it was like, right, Sorare, off the Twitter porn, move for that. And it's like, where's the fucking search bar? Like, I say Twitter porn, I just mean like just the actual normal Twitter feed, obviously. But yeah, it's disappeared. So
strange.
Yeah, I just want to check my phone as well because I had it on earlier. See, it does kind of flick in between screens quickly and then it updates. So,
Yeah.
it's like gone.
Maybe they're doing some sort of update or something. But...
Yeah, somebody's like flipped off the wrong switch on the computer before they left for work.
I can see the bit where it should be and I'm pressing it, but there's nothing happening. So
yeah,
the site is looking better now. I must admit, like obviously there's quality control issues with the changes and everything, but a lot of the stuff is actually looking a lot better. If they could just like focus on getting the functionality up to speed with how well it's looking, then we'd be nearly there. And obviously we're talking about MFL earlier. Like one of the really good things on there is like a game finishes and it's like you download something, it gives you all this stuff. It's quite good to share on social media. So like earlier I went into the site and I thought, right, I've got my teams this weekend. I'm really looking forward to this champion team, this EPL team. But there's no like share button there anymore. There's no generate an image. So I couldn't actually like share it. So it was back to the old McBride's fucking taking a dodgy screenshot and like whipping it out onto social media. Like I think they should like fix that stuff because that's all like free advertisement for the site, right? You know, like it's half the time I'm like, all right, I'll just go into the Sorare, but like because Sorare data, like I'm sure there's a share function on there. You can go into your teams and you can just like basically hit leaderboard share, hide lineup, and then it just gives you a social media function. So they should get that reinstated, I think, because I think that would generate like more hype with the best teams or the sickest lineups or whatever. That sort of stuff should just be going out on social media like every game week, basically. So
yeah, it's so I think that they've kind of developed the site so you screenshot it on your mobile a little bit as well, because like I used to download the images all the time for like Twitter posts and that kind of thing, and they used to generate them totally differently to what the little image you see is. Like they used to reset it onto the pitch, and I think I was maybe one of the only people that done it. So, like everyone would just screenshot it anyway. So I think like they're like, what was it we were talking about earlier? We were talking about the animated backgrounds not showing up on Sorare data. And I'm not that tech savvy, right? But I think that's like a RAM kind of thing, like how heavy your site is to be able to like hang all those video files, which they basically are, like on constant autoplay, auto run. You know, I'm kind of just imagining this kind of thing. So like them having like, and I don't think this stuff would take anywhere near the same as the animated cars, don't get me wrong, but like having that space on the site to like image generate like on everyone's lineups on every account. Maybe it was just a wee bit like I mean it was just dead weight kind of thing. And you just need to you just need to learn the buttons, McBride.
I just want to press share and like somebody else work. Like it's like the screenshot stuff and cropping and fucking like no, that's too much work. Like
Adam's got to work around here. For the loss of search bar.
Search at the top. Yeah, so it's disappeared from the actual home screen, but it's not market. No, it's not on my market tab either. Search.
By the way, guys, it's heartbreak on the dance floor tonight.
Are you surprised?
Yeah, a wee bit.
Really?
Valladolid, man. The first goal.
Really?
Conceding the first goal. Come on, I'm surprised at that. Yeah, not surprised when I see that Marcos Andre plays for them. He's a former Valencia player. That's I should have seen that one coming.
They're the two worst teams, aren't they, in La Liga this
Yeah.
season? Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
both awful.
Bum fight. They drop the defender a buy, and then look what happens. You know.
Yeah.
I looked at buying. I was looking for a La Liga keeper yesterday, and I didn't realise Mamadashvili was injured. And I looked. I thought, oh my god, his price is cheap, especially if he goes to Liverpool next year and Alisson leaves or whatever happened. I thought I nearly bought, and I thought I'll just check why he's so cheap, and then realised he was injured. But yeah,
Still a good guy to get on an injury discount.
he is. Yeah, but I needed someone. I needed a live body for this week. That was the problem. But yeah,
I think I'm going to try sell mine in the next few months.
Your fancy one?
You what, sorry? I'm going to
fancy
sell Mamadashvili. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't have any Liverpool players.
Of course. Yeah. Fair enough.
You have to wait until the summer until there's actually some market demand again. Like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, that's the thing.
yeah.
have they said how long he's out? Like I know it said to the end of the
Yeah.
year, but that could mean
It's
anything.
only a
couldn't
couple of games, I think.
it? Yeah.
It's only a couple of games. I remember I've got Majeki who's out for like till the new year, about 4 weeks. And
Yeah, I
Pope.
found that out close to lock today. That was a bit annoying.
Yeah, and I've got Pope as well. And I think Majeki misses 2 games and Pope misses like 6. Just because of like the calendar. Like in France.
Someone in our Discord
Somewhere like
mentioned the Pope thing yesterday, and I quickly went on the market and saw a Dubravka for 20 quid. So I snapped that up and then
Nice.
obviously just made the switch later on today. So I got away with that one. But yeah, it's heartbreaking, isn't it, when you lose a keeper, especially one when you've got loads of games incoming for them. But,
Yeah, especially when they're at home with Leicester.
yeah.
It's just Jesus. Yeah, I had 2 of them. Luckily, Dubravka. I bought in season 1 like 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
And
perfect.
I've had the classic one for like over a year, so got away with it.
How do you guys think the whole sort of selling early cards and then like selling them out quite quickly has worked? So I'm finding that quite interesting now because I know like obviously people complain about prices coming down, but I think like actually like, a lot of like super rare in season prices are pretty stable at the moment because Sorare don't really have any more of them to actually sell.
I think it is with rare as well. Like some of my rares are higher than they were at the start of the season.
Yeah.
You know, and even ones that have sort of like not had sort of positional changes or like, you know, role changes, often they're at the same price as well, maybe dropped away an absolute fraction. But so I think that's worked well. I'm sure Sorare would rather the prices were a little bit higher at the start of the season. I suspect they will be next time round, providing they like manage to deliver on the promises of classic and changes they make and they don't piss people off. But
yeah, or maybe they just sold them just a little bit too quickly.
yeah, I think they did. Yeah, like that first day they had like 5 or 6 of each card, and honestly, my head was ready to explode trying to follow auctions. But
I'd spent all my money in Celtic cards, so I was like, yeah, this is fine. I don't care. Like,
but that's paid off, though, hasn't it?
yeah, I would definitely do it again. To be fair, like, probably will do next season. But yeah, I mean, it is quite interesting because obviously at the start of the season, that's where the peak demand is, and obviously you've got like the XP race as well. You know, so if you buy a card just now, I think it maybe works better at the higher scarcities because if you buy a rare just now, like English Premier League so variable that you can maybe still pick up somebody and you think you can get a good result. But if you're buying a limited just now, it just feels like you're just like there's guys who have got like 16, 17% EPL cards or whatever, and you're like, well, how can you compete with a 12% disadvantage? Like that's quite hard. But I think actually it's worked a lot better than people think it's worked. It's just really maybe not worked as well for classic. Well, the auction credits and obviously all the changes and everything, it's been quite tough for classic cards.
I would say for the first time in probably over a year, we only see prices go up and down based on form and fitness. Really, like there's not massive drops or massive increases based on any like, you know what I mean, competition, like that kind of stuff. Like it's just like, are they playing good? Are they playing bad? And they'll go up and down accordingly.
Yeah. I think that's because the auction rates have been slowed down so much, and then like it's pretty much mint.
they've kind of limited their interference of like prices because of their supply after they've sold them now, haven't they, really? So like so every year they do their supply for the first 2 to 3 months and then let the market does what it does naturally.
Yeah. So
I think it's the best way of valuing the cards.
It's Sorare's fault. I want that weekend.
I was going to say, I think it's the best way of valuing the cards, or it's the best way the cards have been valued for a lot of years, because although, like, I think the best thing has to be under mint this whole time. Like, it's very rare that players have got to the 100 serial number in seasons gone by. It's a very rare thing that anyone even gets into. You know, we've seen serial number 75 tonight in December. You know, like, that's never happened any season ever before now, probably. And I think, like, that's, although it's a good thing, seasons gone by, they've not hit full mint rates. It is also something that muddies the water on, like, how much is an in-season rare Mbappe worth, you know, actually, because when it is like they kind of, you know, throw in the feed in with the piranhas, as it were, the way they've kind of done it this year, where it's just been throw them all out as quickly as they can, and everyone that can nibble their bits can get them, kind of thing, versus the dripping them out all the way through the season. It's then a kind of fair marketplace. It really does kind of fly out the kind of gold rate for the start period, or for any period of time, really, and then the secondary market kind of controls it from there. Whereas, like, to be like day one auctions, how many would you get? 3 rares, 2 rares, you know, over a 24-hour period, something like that, and then you're maybe, I don't know, like 10 over the next month or something. So it would take way longer for, like, for every player, there's like a proper like audience of people that are like, I'm getting that card, or I'm interested in that card, and the price won't ever get away from being crazy until those people have got their card. You know, as long as there's 2 of those people showing up for every auction, you know, the auction will be fought tooth and nail, wallet versus wallet. But if you can get all those people their cards and they can all pay kind of the same-ish, and then everyone can go, right, well, you know, so I think it's maybe a little bit of, you're finding true values a bit quicker, because the first 2 or 3 cards were always like way more expensive, weren't they, than the average then after, which kind of maybe inflated some things, or gave people false market prices for some things at times.
I think it helps the secondary market as well. Like, I was looking to get a Philippe Cohn this morning, and there's no auctions. No, the last auction or instant buy was the 17th of November. You can't get one, and there's no instant buys up, no sign of any auctions. Like, I think it helps the secondary market, and I think it will do that from now till the end of the season. I think you'll kind of slowly start to see that. Whereas, like, not everyone's instant buys are dried up, but you will start to see that.
Yeah,
I've definitely been mindful on when you see a cheap instant buy, see for like the backup goalkeepers or those wee young guys, you like, when you see the instant buy is 15 quid, give or take, you know, like, if I don't get that, like, I'm never going to pay 15 quid for him, probably, in the season especially, because the next instant buy will be 20 quid, and then every other Jack and their uncle will be wanting 20 quid as well. So yeah, it definitely puts a wee bit of, there's definitely a different dynamic on the go when you know, even though those instant buys are there at the tip of your fingers, they're not infinite. Monkey's closed the wrong window there, hasn't he?
He's back.
Who knows what happened there? I thought you closed the wrong window, as well, was my guess.
I do need to leave though, but it's been really fun chewing the fat with you guys, and I'll see you in another Friday.
Pleasure as always, Monkey, to have
See
you
you
in.
later. Have a nice evening.
Anyway, Crocodile. I think I'm going to get kicked off of here shortly anyway, guys. But I was going to say, like, we brought up the backup keeper stuff a little bit when we were chatting with Nep, and then a little bit what we're even getting to there with Monkey, in terms of the prices and stuff like that. What do you think, like, McBride, you were like a day one, like, attack, you know, in season effort? And I was going to mention when you brought this up yourself earlier, like, you had a bit of a dry run into this season because you really went in season Korea when they did this handover period back in March. You know, you really went, fuck it, well, I'll buy in season. Korea cards are really cheap, and maybe in J League, sorry, I might be remembering it wrong, but you had a wee bit of a warm up to the season with that anyway, in that handover period.
Yeah.
Would you, if you could go back to day one, how much differently would you have done it?
Day one for this season?
Day one for this season, yeah.
Yeah, they spent more.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think, like, obviously there's a lot of front-ended stuff, so it was a wee bit lucky because I did pretty well with the specials and things, so maybe, like, it's been hard to judge, if you know what I mean, but I think that actually it's a wee bit different from previous seasons because you said about you get the 3 or 4 rares and then there's more rares come out. When you hit them all out at the start, you don't have as much of an edge for the first couple of cards because everybody's all got different options. But if you look at rare or super rare, if you get the team that wins like 2 or 3-0 that weekend or whatever, then that's going to be really pretty unique in terms of a stack for that weekend. So I think that super rare's actually pretty good for users who want to spend. It's whether or not the issue is going to become going forward. People see the cards come down value at the end of the season and it puts them off spending next season, or if it's a bad perception thing. But I think the people who have actually bought in season cards will just buy them again because they've done pretty well out of them. So they won't be put off from spending. It's just that people look from outside and they go, oh, yeah, that guy paid £2,000 for Casper Schmeichel's super rare, and at the end of the season he's only worth 400 quid. That's terrible, man. And they're like, yeah, fucking, I've won like podiums for about fucking 20 game weeks in a row. So like yeah, you want to think that's fine. You fucking stay out the Casper Schmeichel super rare auction next season. Get the fuck out of the way. Like, but honestly, like I think the in season is actually pretty good. It's just the balance between classic and in season and like user sentiment and everything that Sorare needs to get a hold of, because the whole thought was that, you know, the in season cards would go quite high and that people would be able to win those cards, and that would all be quite a good experience. But obviously classic's pretty difficult. So, you know, you've got to beat loads of people, and the cards, because they whacked them out, maybe weren't quite as high as they expected. So that never really boosted the prize pools for classic. But actual in-season stuff is like really, really profitable. Look at the EPL. Like, you know, I'm in the EPL Division 1. I don't own any like Arsenal players, don't know any Man City players. I don't own Bruno Fernandes. I don't own Saka, Palmer, none of them. I've got Brighton players and Brentford players and stuff, and I'm in season rare Division 1 with like fucking like some Brighton guys and some Brentford guys. So like, you know, at that level where there's not as many cards available, it's actually pretty good because you're only playing against 50 or 60 other like combinations, whereas when you play classic, you're playing against 500 million gazillion combinations, everything, and that's where it's quite hard because the scoring's just like mega high. So yeah, and answer to your question, next year I'll probably like be just as inclined to buy, but we need to see what the projections are for the, you know, the prizes and everything again. It's like if Sorare are going to commit to paying out the same again, then the cards will be worth at least as much, I think, because people will just look at that and go, these guys are like cleaning up in that comp or that comp, and they'll just chase that sort of money that's available.
Yeah, definitely.
How do you feel about your approach into the season? Because where I kind of stand now, Charlie, is I've been picking up more in seasons gradually over the last month or so because I find them way cheaper, way easier to pick up. I just didn't have the budget to kind of go as hard earlier doors as I've done in seasons past, let's say. You know, if you know, looking at how you approach the season coming into it, you know, how would you, knowing what you know now or seeing what you see now, how do you feel about how you handled it or how you went for it?
Yeah, I was thinking about this like over the past week or two, but like I'm already thinking of what my in-season strategy would be for next year. But like, yeah, like the first thing I wouldn't have done is buy a Ipswich defensive stack in season. I think that was a little bit of an oversight. But yeah, I think you don't. I feel like people overestimate like that you need like hundreds of pounds to get an in season. Like you can use one of your goalkeepers and you can just pick up like even like Wolves players, Forest players, Everton players who are cheap. Like even their top guys are cheap. And like the scores, you don't need big scores. You're not competing against loads of people, especially for the league specific ones. You're not, as long as like Liverpool and Arsenal don't win 5-0 each. Like it's really reasonable.
Yeah.
Like, and the prices are like reasonable to get in to the point where you can make an ROI. So yeah, like what I'm planning on doing for next season is just. But I was thinking, well, if Pope's still here, buying a second Pope, a classic, and then just filling out with like cheaper pieces like a Livermento, a Shaw, who are on certain game weeks and certain fixtures going to put up big scores, but obviously I know any other prices of Saka and Bruno Fernandes and Palmer.
Yeah, I think that multi-goalkeeper thing is definitely a part of the in-season into classic journey that I think a lot of people discover. It's like we're talking about, a lot of people, like McBride's saying, people just buy a whole new setup for next year, and I can see plenty of people doing that. I think some people will sell current in-season cards to pay for the next season's lot or whatever, of course. But a lot of people will have a classic collection that they don't have right now come to them next year. That'll be the way it goes. And it really does throw the door open to understanding then, like me and McBride have got a few 5% Celtic collections. We kind of been through this already to some extent. But when that first ownership opportunity goes away, like you're kind of then, like whatever collection bonus you've kind of got. And with the goalkeeper, and a captain capable type of guy, you definitely want to be taking legacy players into next season if you're an in-season card. Like, if there's some guys that play in season that don't really pick up much classics, if any, but you need to look at the guys you've got now. Like, can I take you next year into as a classic card? Who have you got around you? 3%, 4% collection, whatever. And think about it a little bit like that, because you can still use one of them as it stands now. There's a good question here from Wakey saying, would you buy Prem or Super Rare for new season Prem? That was probably aimed at you, McBride, I'm going to say.
If I could afford the super rares, then I think I would buy the super rares. Take
on the Prank Master.
Aye. Well, that's a problem, right? You come up against those guys, and like as you said, in super rare you can only play 3 in season and 2 out of season. So if you're playing against Pranksy, he already has a bit of a head start from last season, because he'll bring in 2 guys that will be on 5%, 6% collection bonus. So he'll have a good head start on you and things, but you can kind of overcome that as well if you're willing to commit to the actual collection. Then once you get to sort of top level, then you'll be okay. Because one of the things I've done with Celtic is I've bought like nearly all of them at Super Rare, which is the first time I've done that. But like even when guys have been coming up for like 60 quid, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to buy it, because once I get to 500, I'm getting 6%. So now I'm just like, I've got guys like my Celtic Super Rare collection at 37.5% bonus or whatever. So like, and not only are they doing really well, but even when they do decently well, I'm getting like loads of extra points just from those other guys who otherwise might have been a bit obsolete. So I think like if you're going for a strategy, then kind of set that, go for it, and build around that. Like you're saying, Quinny, like there's guys who, like at the Contender, Barco's been one of the best guys in Contender. So actually, rather than going buying more in-season guys, if you just have bought a rare Barco and just whacked them in there, your teams would be doing significantly better. So if they keep the sort of one option, then you can still like be quite tactical about it, and it still leaves it open to people that are quite good at seeing who's going to do well, or who's on sets, or who's going to get the big AA, the defenders, or whatever. There'll still be opportunities out there for sure.
I don't know what's like at Super Rare, you'll be able to tell us, but like in Div 3 and Div 4, like for Prem, I feel like really protected from Arsenal and Liverpool and City. Do you feel that Super Rare in the lower divisions or not?
Yeah, I think Super Rare is completely different as well, but there's loads of nuances. Like 1 week I came second and third, and Rangers won 6-0, but nobody runs a Rangers stack in Super Rare, because like they're only interested in Butland and Tavernier, and the rest of them are shit. So like basically, it's as soon as you go up through there, there'll be strategies that you'll use at limited that won't really work so well, but actually there would be brilliant strategies at rare, or really, really good strategies at Super Rare. Just that you've got to have the right pieces to put around those strategies. So like I think that if you've got a specific strategy, or you can scout out the fixtures or whatever, like those are the levels where you could still buy in just now. Whereas it'd be more of a mistake just now to say, yes, right, Brighton have got a great run of games, the next couple of games, going to buy a full Brighton collection, but you'll get murdered by the guys who've had them for the start of the season, because they've got like 16-17%
If they run them. If they run them. Charlie's brought a Ipswich defensive stack at the beginning of the season, and then every time the Ipswich defence has been rinsed it, we've not got it. So they might have it, but maybe they don't run it. It's a bit of that.
You know how many times that's been?
Leif Davis was averaging 60 at one point, and obviously Muric,
yeah, but Muric chucks one in his own net every week, so it just doesn't make a difference.
He still does 50s and stuff though.
He does.
Yeah, I mean the thing is with that, so if you run an Ipswich defensive stack, there'll be hardly anyone else running it. And the weekend where Leif Davis hits a 90 and Muric just goes on an insane one, then that'll be really quite unique in terms of entries.
That's what I'm looking for.
What I find happening is and this is quite a really I think that's a point people should take away. See, when you go into Sorare data and you press the lineup builder and it selects that lineup and it says that's the best lineup, the first thing you should be doing is changing that lineup, because see, if you do that, then if all the other people who have those cards select that lineup, you can't win. Right, so if you have say I've got an Arsenal in season collection now, and I only got them last month, right, and they're limited. If I go in and it says pick 5 Arsenal cards, I can't win with that lineup, because Nep and all the people that have picked at the start of the season are all going to hammer me, and I'll be 25th, 30th down the list, and I can't win. So automatically you've got to change one of them and put in Leif Davis, or put in Muric, or put in somebody else that somebody's not going to pick. So actually, if you got up to the D1s or whatever, having the alternative to the Bayern Munich stack or whatever is actually the better strategy for you. Because if you've got a Bayern Munich stack, you've got to have had the guys who are the best 5 guys who get the XP for the start of the season. The best way to beat that is to put in fucking somebody from Freiburg or something. It's Weiner or Griffo or whatever. The last weekend in EPL was only 200s, and one of them was Zabarni, and one of them was somebody else. So you can beat the other stacks, no bother doing that. But you can't beat the other stacks coming in and pick the same guys as people who have got better XP than you. So that's what you've got to do, I think, strategy wise.
Yeah,
great advice, mate. I love that.
One thing on the in-season thing that I know Quinn experience is I wasn't expecting for 2 or 3 in season to just kind of fall into my lap at the start of the season, and then you kind of buy one and you're there. I was expecting it to be I didn't buy Muric straight away, but I think I won 1 or 2 champ in seasons, and I was I'm kind of there. You know what I mean? I was expecting it to be a much longer grind to get up and kicked off with in season.
I think that's the way all kind of classic player, or I prefer the kind of word legacy when I'm thinking of this, but players that have got a gallery coming into a season, it's got to be something you're thinking about, which is why I've always kind of, obviously I didn't have as much early season joy, Charlie, as you've kind of said there, but I do think it's got to be a huge part of your card acquisition. You can't be planning on buying every card, you've got to plan and at least get some trading fodder or something, if not actual pieces that you want, Ashton Oxborough, you can't always be so lucky, Pascal Grosses and whatever we're eventually getting our hands on, which is good crack. I think, see, one thing I had this kind of reflective moment, it's again, everyone's kind of said in this last 10 minutes, I've also had that feeling this week of, what will I do for next year? What will my, we've all had that thought, it feels like, which it made me smile earlier on. And one thing I'm very glad I did early this season, and I would do again, and is a lesson I'll definitely make sure I repeat, is maybe the exact same as the Barco thing, but I never did Barco, but buying in-season Shaqiri. When you see random guys getting random transfers and you can get a crappy me in season for a tenner, and it's hey, it could be amazing. He's going to China. Let's buckle up for this one.
I think you get a lot of that with the early access. I got an Alfie Gilchrist from Chelsea. And then, whilst before the season started, he was getting a load of Sheffield United, and I think you can get a lot of that. They just kind of people that are worth a tenner that could become potential cheat codes. Shaqiri's slightly different because he had cards for MLS, but
yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. But I like the early access one all the same, because again, like my bride saying, it's that frenzy at the beginning for all the main players, B listers and C listers. Can still be sniped in that period, and that's maybe a bit of an angle to go with, as much as anything.
Barco's Barco had like River Plate cards or something that were like in season
season.
till just now. So people had actually the in-season Barcos, so you could like run that and then like actually run that with a Celtic stack or something, which I couldn't actually compete with because he was a guy doing the hundreds. So, you know, that was the sort of cheat code type thing. It's an interesting one as well because obviously a lot of the times it's the guys who have the transfers or, you know, the guys, if you buy somebody who's moved clubs, then obviously can't mint them anymore. So it's not just a transfer, it's the fact that like you can't mint any more of those cards. So Shaqiri's obviously going up because he's doing well, but also sorry, I can't sell any more of them. So like if you get one of those, then that usually pays off like big style. So
I love that move this year, and I'm sure it's one along with the backup goalkeeper I'll look to definitely keep in the repertoire. But it feels like that time of night, guys.
Am I getting kicked off again? What have I said?
No, I would just say I think it's go fuck time. Go fuck. Thanks everyone.
Yep.
Good luck and go fuck.
You need to say it, Charlie.
Good luck. Go fuck.